The medical bay's diagnostic screen flickered, a cascade of warnings in 17 different languages. Commander Zixtar watched the human specimen, Subject 447, designation Marcus. He was struggling against a gravitational force that should have turned his internal organs into a slurry hours ago. Impossible, Zixtar whispered through his breathing apparatus. The Kravenian had seen species far more robust than humans crushed under the brutal gravity of Earth. Even his own people could barely survive under half that pressure without specialized exoskeletons. Marcus lay on the examination platform, his skeleton starkly visible on the medical imaging display. Fractures spiderwebbed across his femurs, ribs, and spine. Yet somehow, impossibly, he was smiling. "You don't understand us, do you?" Marcus wheezed. Each word was a colossal effort against the crushing weight. The blood vessels in his eyes had burst, painting the whites a deep crimson. "You think you've figured out humanity just because you've studied our biology?" Zixtar remembered it all so clearly. He had overseen the Galactic Council's quarantine of Earth for 15 cycles. It began when humanity first achieved faster-than-light travel. The Council intercepted their first colony ship, and the verdict was unanimous and swift. Humans were too fragile, too breakable, too hopelessly dependent on their homeworld's specific conditions to ever join the galactic community. "Your physiology is objectively inferior," Zixtar stated, gesturing to the alarming readouts. "Your bones are calcium-based, prone to brittleness. Your cardiovascular system operates on primitive chemical reactions. You have no reinforced cartilage, no redundant organ systems, no adaptive tissue regeneration." To his astonishment, Marcus laughed. It was a wet, broken sound, but it was unmistakably laughter. That's what makes it beautiful." The commander watched, transfixed, as Marcus slowly, agonizingly, began to push himself upright. The gravity simulator was supposed to be set to Earth standard. For Marcus, this should have felt normal, but his body had been preconditioned for 3 weeks in the standard galactic environment, a gentle 2.1 gigaseconds. The transition back should have been smooth, but they'd made a catastrophic mistake. The simulator was malfunctioning, generating a crushing 11.7 gigasakazina to kill most combat-grade species within minutes. "Every single day," Marcus grunted, forcing himself up to his knees. "Humans on Earth, live under conditions that would kill half the species in your council." His arm shook violently as he pushed against the invisible, overwhelming weight. "We don't have your fancy adaptive biology. We can't regenerate limbs or breathe methane." A strange rhythm began to beat within Zixtar's 3 hearts. This was beyond any medical anomaly. This was something else entirely. Something fundamental. "But we've got something better," Marcus continued, somehow getting to his feet. He swayed like a great tree about to fall. "We've got spite, stubbornness. We've got the sheer audacity to look at a universe that wants us dead and say not today." The medical display screamed of catastrophic system failures across Marcus's body. Massive internal bleeding, multiple organ stress, microfractures propagating through his entire skeletal structure. By every measurable metric, he should have been unconscious or dead. There was no scientific explanation for what was happening. "Your people live in comfort," Marcus said, taking one impossible step forward, then another. "You've engineered yourselves for efficiency, optimized your biology for survival." He was walking now, each heavy footfall a direct defiance of physics and physiology. "We humans, we're not optimized for anything except refusing to quit." A profound realization dawned on Zixtar in that moment. The Galactic Council had evaluated humanity on all the wrong criteria. They had measured bone density and atmospheric requirements. They had cataloged vulnerabilities and biological limitations. They saw fragility and assumed it was weakness. They had never understood that humanity's strength was undimmed. In their bodhisattva was in whatever inexplicable force kept those bodies moving long after they should have stopped. Marcus finally reached the gravity simulator's control panel. With a trembling hand that left bloody fingerprints on the console, he adjusted the settings back to normal. The crushing weight instantly vanished. He collapsed to the floor, gasping for air. "Now you know," he said, looking up at the Kravenian with eyes that burned with something ancient and terrible and utterly human. "You can break our bones, rupture our organs, crush us under impossible weight, but you can't break whatever it is inside us that refuses to stay down." Zixtar stood in absolute silence as the medics rushed into the chamber. He finally understood why the Council feared humanity. It wasn't their primitive weapons or their fledgling technology. It was something far simpler and infinitely more terrifying. Humans didn't know when to quit, and in a universe governed by natural law and biological limitation, that simple fact made them the most dangerous species of all.